So now we're on to the next portion. Midsection looks good. I did do a little bit of editing, kind of off tutorial, but we're ready for the legs. Yeah. So really, we're only gonna map one leg, and then we're actually going to attempt to duplicate it over to the other side. Yeah. So it should be pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead and now apply our material again, right? So we're gonna assign a we're gonna assign an existing material to our leg. Yeah, so feel free to drop off your UV mapping material over there. Once again, if you remember, just like with a lot of other pieces, interestingly enough, for the Lego, we started with a cylinder. Okay, so again, that's going to cause a lot of stretching because the UV map unfortunately doesn't update. Yeah, when you start extruding, yeah, it doesn't update very much. So we're gonna have to kind of fix that up. Once again, we're gonna do some cool stuff with this. I'm going to I kind of brought back all my other pieces just so I can kind of see what's going on here. But let's hide everything once again. So the only thing that we're going to be really keeping is going to be the left leg. Yeah, so can do a control H on everybody else. So we just have this guy here. We're gonna start things off very similarly to last time, which is using our mapping, automatic mapping. Yeah, so if you can go UV automatic, remember there are the 6 planes. Yeah, so what that's gonna do is like chop it up really quickly over here. I'm gonna go into UV mode in my UV editor. Remember, if you don't have this, you can also go Windows, Modeling Editors, UV Editor. Um, and then once we're in UV mode here, I'm going to select all of the UVs within that square and move it over to the side. Yes, just so we can kind of see things a little bit more clearly. It is hard to see in there, yeah. Okay, now there's a couple pieces that are just gonna be like super right off the bat. We don't even have to really mess around with, yeah. The key ones, of course, are gonna be these two side ones, yeah. So I'm gonna select a couple vertices on there. Then I'm gonna go to my select menu, go to convert selection, and then once again go to UV show, yeah. So select convert selection to UV show. That'll get all of those pieces. I am going to move those down, yeah. So there's our left and our right. For this one, I'm actually going to probably keep them really close to each other. I'm just gonna kind of slide this one over a little bit, yeah. So I'm just gonna grab these guys and just kind of give them a little bit of space in between, yeah. All right. Now a couple other things we're going to be paying attention to here is going to be we are going to be breaking down our front. We're also going to be breaking down our side. Now Maya, that automatic mapping kind of already does some of this for us. Yeah. So the key parts are going to probably be our front areas. So I'm going to select this UV right here. There it is, UV. Do a selection over there, and then I'm going to convert that selection to UV shell. Okay, bring this one over, yeah, and this should be located right about in this area right over here. Now it's going to look strange just because of the fact that it is only a partial. So you see it kind of like stop off right at this area, yeah. Okay, now we're gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup on this area, so we'll talk about that in a bit, but I'm just gonna kind of lay everything out over here for what we need. The other thing that we're gonna be kind of grabbing is gonna be this section right here, these faces and these faces over here, yeah. So basically working right now, working on the front. So I'm just gonna get one UV over here. Looks like it belongs to this piece right here. So again, I'm gonna do my select, convert selection, and then UV shell. Bring that piece up, or sorry, I'm going to bring that piece nearby. The other thing I'm going to do, of course, is rotate it. So I want this rotated so that it is facing in the direction, expected direction versus where UV, when you do automatic mapping, it tries really hard to kind of keep you, it doesn't really, it really kind of focuses on like trying to fit as much as it can in a square, yeah. But for us visually, this is probably going to work a little bit better. I'm also going to grab this portion right here, yeah. So this one, let's go and find that. Again, same as usual, select, convert to selection, UV shell, bring that one up. Okay, and then once again, we want to make sure that the numbers are facing in the direction, in the upward direction, yeah, or front to back. So I'm going to kind of rotate that, yeah, using the E key. Yeah, I rotate it. That looks pretty good. Okay, and I'm gonna drop this off right over here. Yeah, so Here are my main pieces. Yeah, we can actually have these kind of like connected if we wanted to, but for now we kind of leave that alone. And this one too. Yeah, so I'll bring these ones over. There does look like there are a few pieces that are not getting captured that were expected to be captured. So those we might have to stitch on later. I'm noticing right over here too. Yeah, these faces. Strangely enough, they're getting stuck to this side area. Yeah, so I'm actually probably gonna take this part off and glue it back onto there. But that kind of stuff is really um, minimal. Okay. Right, so that's gonna be the front. We're also gonna grab the back faces, so I'm gonna go click on that. Okay, this looks like this is an easy selection. So again, convert selection and then UV shell. Yes, I grabbed one UV and did all of that. I'm gonna rotate it so it is facing upwards. Yeah, for the most part, we're ignoring the back area. If you recognize, like usually when you're doing a Lego, this part is usually where the holes go. Yeah, so we didn't actually create any of that so that your character can sit on the Lego pieces, yeah, and stick. Yeah, but yeah, so we kind of bypass that. All right, and then we do have two sections left. Yeah, so we have this section which is connected from front to back. Yeah, and this part is not going to be very much in view, but it is good to still have. So I am gonna be dropping that one off in place. Yeah, so we can bring this. Looks like I'll pay more attention to the front and the back for this one. You're gonna notice some stretching, yeah, but that's because that is a curved surface. Yeah, so that one we can kind of fix up a little bit afterwards. And this one over here, um, most likely unnecessary for you. But this is gonna be the bottom of the foot. Yeah, so I can kind of drop this off over here. I kind of don't mind having it in this orientation right here too, so that looks pretty good. All right, so just a few things. Anytime you're doing this kind of map, you want to make sure that like pieces that kind of fall off the table, yeah, so you want to make sure that the edges kind of stay consistent. If you notice right here, this UV map is awesome because you can sort of tell right over here that this part actually got caught up in the side cuts. Yeah, so when the UV kind of sliced up for the sides, so I'm just gonna borrow those. Here's how you can kind of take those pieces out and put them back in their original position. So we have this set right here. This should actually belong over here. Yeah, so if I click on this edge or if I select these edges, you see it's kind of selecting both sides. Yeah, so that's where we want to bring it to. That'll be its actual home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to select these edges down over here. You can select it either directly on the model, yeah, so shift click, or you can select it in your UV editor. Yeah, so I'm going to just basically cut all the way until it gets to one of the dark white borders. Yeah, dark white borders are really helpful. That lets us know, okay, that's an edge that's not attached to anything else currently. Yeah, that's an outside edge. Once you get all of those edges selected though, yeah, between the white edges, we're then going to go into cut menu and choose the cut option. Yeah, your shortcut for that is Shift X. So you can go ahead and do that. Once you do that, and you do the cut, yeah, so again, cut so, and then choose the cut option or Shift X. You're then going to notice when you click off, now we have that little white line, yeah, that's kind of creating that border. I'm just going to pull this piece out. So I'm going to go into UV mode, select one UV, and then go into my select menu, convert selections, and choose to UV show. Again, this very useful, that tool. And then I'm going to kind of bring it over to this area right over here. Yeah, so I actually want it appended directly on here. Yeah, now this one is probably going to require a little bit of sorry, I pressed one if you noticed, just to make sure that the edges are making a little bit more sense. But I brought this over and I'm going to just kind of align it as best as I can, yeah, from left to right. Now, there's probably not going, we don't have to worry too much about this because it's like an edge area anyway, but we do want to make sure that it's like kind of aligned. Yeah, so I'm gonna move these around. A little bit is just kind of feel, yeah, but we're gonna bring that over. Yeah, bring it over. Okay, and we're trying to get these edges so that they're in the spot you would expect them to be. Yeah, so kind of are lining these over here. notice they're very small movements. If there are bigger movements, I might actually do a remap. But yeah, this is good already. Yeah, again, small tiny details, has very minimal impact. But again, like sometimes when you're working on a more detailed model, you would want to like start um, being a little bit more in the nitty gritty like we're doing right now. So again, this is just another habit maker, or just to give you a little bit more experience on that. Yeah. Okay, so you can kind of bring that down to here. It's gonna be hard to tell, but yeah, now we got kind of these pieces set up. Okay, now that they're in place, I'm gonna start sewing. Yeah, so I'm gonna go edge mode, select these two edges, or actually that one edge. Yeah, and then we're gonna go to our cut sew menu, choose sew. If you want to, you can then kind of continue with that. Yeah, so notice I'm gonna select these edges over here and kind of grabbing as many as I can. Okay, making sure that I don't get any of the horizontal edges. Yeah, but we're getting all those vertical ones that are the boundaries, and then we can go cut sew or shift S. Okay, and then that'll make it nice and clean. And then you'll notice now this area has now joined the front. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat that process for this section right over here as well. Okay, so same deal. Basically going to here on the other side. Okay, and then getting edges. Yeah, and again, this is not super critical for the Lego character, but it is good to get this experience. Yeah. So I'm gonna just kind of cut all of these. Yeah, so we're cutting those out. Getting into UV mode, selecting select, convert selection. Go to UV shell. Okay, bring this out, bring it over to that side. Once again, we can see if it's aligned okay. It's not bad. And so I'll just kind of just bring this up, but yeah, it's not bad. Like from side to side, it looks pretty good actually. Okay, and then I'm just gonna move the UVs so they match up. Yeah, as much as possible, I'm trying to not move them vertical if I don't have to. And these are all pretty close, so I think we can kind of work with that. And we'll just do right over here. Yeah, so just move these out a little bit. That should work. All right, and then same thing, edge. Yeah, I'm gonna select all these edges going up. Notice I'm not doing a click drag all the way through, but I'm doing shift click drags, and that's because I'm avoiding those horizontal lines. Yeah, and then do need this top one. Okay, and then I'm gonna go cut sew, choose sew. Okay, and then again, this side is now cleaner. We look pretty good everywhere else except for this one little corner. I know that was a little bit weird, so we're just gonna steal that one. I'm gonna get that UV. Where does it belong to? So, oh yeah, looks like this is where it got stashed. I'm going to do a real quick edge selection. Yeah, so 1 and then 2. Do the cut. Okay, UV. Right click. Oh, sorry. Select. Convert selection. UV show. Move tool. Okay, get that to where I want it, which is down over here. Okay, and then just kind of place things. If you ever want to snap, by the way, you can kind of do this. So I'm going to go with 1UV, very similar to how you would move your vertices. Yeah, if you select it, hold down V while you're in the move tool, and then you can actually let it snap to corners. Yeah, so it's an option. Yeah, not super critical again, but it's a good tool. And then we'll just do our merges. Yeah, so I'm going to select this one, cut sew, do the merge. Oh, sorry, cut sew and do the sew. My bad. Okay, and then that'll get us all of that. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good. Honestly, we don't need to do much more than this. Let's take a look at the bottom over here. Okay, bottom is all right. It's not as important. But if you want, yeah, it looks like we can grab this area. And again, this all kind of depends on your model. Yeah, so your model may not have quite the idiosyncrasies that mine does. Okay, so which is a little bit challenging. Yeah, so you may have to kind of like troubleshoot and evaluate, yeah, as you go and see like, okay, where does your model possibly differ? But ultimately, again, the more important thing that here is that you're getting your experience. Yeah. The rest of it is just nice to um, practice. Yeah. So you got all this edge. I'm gonna go cut saw again and do a cut. Okay, and then I'll get my UVs. Okay, select that. Select, convert selection to UV shell. Okay, bring that out. Okay, this should be at the bottom, I believe. Looks like it should be on this side as well. So drop that off over there. Looking pretty good. All right, but yeah, we're about ready to do our last portion, which is going to be making sure that. All right, there we go. Yeah. And our last portion is just going to be making sure that we have all of our the part where the leg connects to the body or the midsection. That part we're gonna have to make sure that's aligned. Yeah. So that's coming up. All right, but let me just finish this real quick. I'm gonna go into edge mode. I'm gonna do a click drag, and I'm just gonna get the whole line. Yeah. Um, you do want to be cautious when you're doing something like this. Yeah. So when you are grabbing these extra edges, just be careful. Sometimes if you get the wrong boundary edges, it may like start to make your map just connect across your UV, and that makes your map really weird. Yeah, so just be careful about that. Okay, all right, that looks pretty good. All right, so we got our edges, we got our bottom. Everything looks pretty clean after that. Okay, yeah, pretty clean, pretty clean, pretty clean. We can definitely go with that. All right, and the last thing we're gonna work with is gonna be this area right here. Now, the main thing that I want you folks to watch out for when you're doing a map is like this area over here. This is where you can have some distortion. Yeah, so if you notice like the 3, especially if you're looking at it from the side, the 3 and the 4 kind of stretch. The 4 and 5 are okay, but they're a little, they'll also be a little bit weird, yeah, as far as the shape goes. So what I'm gonna do here is actually kind of create a cylindrical map right here. So I am in my edge mode, so I'm gonna be in my edge mode. I'm gonna select these edges right here that kind of make up the cylinder. Yeah, so I'm gonna go here to here. Okay, I'm also gonna go towards the back and find the ones that make up the cylinder right there, which look like they start right around this area right over here. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab all of those. Okay, 3, 4, and 5. Oops, and 5. Okay, so that's all of those. And then I'm just gonna do a quick cut. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a quick cut over here. And so I'm gonna go into my cut, choose cut over here. That'll give me some new faces, and I believe that should, yeah, okay. And then I believe that should encompass the following sections. Yeah, so 1, 2, and 3. I am selecting all of those, and then I'm going to convert the selection to UV shell. Okay, so all of these pieces, yeah, now that I have a cut, I actually have this section. If you notice, that's very cylindrical. I'm going to now select, convert selection to face. Yeah, so select, convert selection, and then choose 2 faces. Okay, and then I'm going to drop off a cylindrical map on here. So that's going to be my UV, drop off my cylindrical. It's kind of going in the wrong direction. I'm going to close that up though. And then remember, we can now use your side view. Okay, I'm going to be pressing the T. Yeah, so I'm going to go and find the T. Where are you, T? Right over here. It looks like there's the T. So I'm going to click on that just so I get my rotation tool in effect. And then kind of spin this so that it is now at a 90-degree angle from where it was before. Okay, so right about there looks pretty clean. Yeah, right there, about. All right, and then let's see if I can move this around a little bit. You'll notice too, it's kind of a balancing act to try to get this as straight as possible, but yeah, that's looking pretty good right there. Okay, I can kind of work with that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, all right, and then I'm gonna pull out this UV. Okay, now that it's cylindrically mapped, if we take a look at it in our perspective view, okay, we can then kind of scale it. So I'm gonna scale this. I'm gonna scale this a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that does look okay. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of scale this a little bit wider. Yeah, so I'm trying to get the squares as much as possible. Okay, I am also going to be taking this whole thing and turning it so that it is um, facing towards us. Yeah, so facing up and down. It's right about there. Looks like I have a little bit of scaling to do, so I'll do that. Yeah, so scaling up. Again, looking at those numbers, trying to make sure that it's nice and flat over there. Oh shucks. Looks like I have one extra section that I'm kind of moving that I didn't realize I had selected. So I'm not sure where this is coming from. Oh, right at the edge. Shucks. Okay. Yeah, looks like I missed that part. Okay, so this dude definitely needs to join the rest. So I'm gonna convert selection to UV show. Okay, move this one up. Yeah, and then yeah, just drop that off into place. My angle is terrible here, but yeah, and then we'll just do a quick merge over here. So everything's looking good except for maybe this line. So drop that off. Yeah, I can kind of do that. That's fine. And then this one right here. Yeah, move those down. Okay, you may not have to do this, yeah. But here's my edge. I'm gonna grab all of those edges right over there. Okay, and then I'm gonna sew. So cut and I cut and sew, and then you sew. Oops. Oh, I had it upside down. Okay, that explains a lot. Okay. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. So I had this upside down. Let me rotate that. Whoops. Okay. Okay, that explains a lot. Yeah, so, okay, there we go. And then let's see if I can drop this off. Yikes. Okay, and I hope I'm even in the right position. Okay, then I'm gonna go into edge mode. Let's see where these edges go. Yeah, so that edge actually goes up to there. Yeah, so I was placing this in the wrong place. Okay, so it was the right orientation, wrong spot though. So I'm gonna kind of rotate this one. Okay, and then drop this off. Yeah, so this will go here, and then go into edge mode. Now I can finally merge. Yeah. If you notice the last time I merged that incorrectly, what happens with that is that it tries to jump across the screen. Yeah, so it's um, super confusing when that kind of stuff happens. Last thing I'm gonna do here is since everything's finally connected, I'm gonna go into UV mode. I'm gonna select all of these. I'm gonna try to clean it up a little bit. So you can do this by going into like modify. Okay, and then you can do this thing where it's near the bottom where you do an unfold. So if you choose an unfold, and what that might do is that kind of tries to clean it up a little bit. For my case, it doesn't look like it did as much as I wanted it to, so I'll probably leave it as it was before. But if you want to do any kind of like tweaking, that tool will kind of help you out. Yeah, so again, modify, and then you can choose the unfold option. Yeah, so modify and then unfold. There is also an optimizer, yeah, which is kind of useful as well. But your call. You don't really have to use it for this stuff. All right. Okay, and so that'll be that. Okay, I'm gonna scale this down. Okay, so again, I'm trying to find the correct proportion. I'm also gonna be putting these into place. Yeah, so trying to get it so that they match up where you would expect them to. Okay, so I'm gonna drop these off. That looks like that's about the right proportion right over there. That's looking pretty good. I can kind of drop it off right there. All right, and then I'm also gonna make a cut right at the top. Yeah, so I'm gonna have enough for the front and the back. This is the part that we tend to not see at all, which is totally fine. Then this is what we call like where we put our seams. Yeah, for textures is where it's like where the where you're probably not gonna see. Yeah, so we'll probably almost never see this part of the leg, and it'll probably always be a solid color anyway. Yeah, so if you notice, I got all those edges over there. We do a cut. Here's my UV. I can select this now. Yeah, so select, convert selection to UV show. Okay, and this one is just going to get connected to the back side. Yeah, so I can drop that off. Okay, and I'm using this view as my guide. Yeah, but just kind of dropping it off right over here. See, that matches up pretty well. Yeah. Okay, right to about there. All right, and then just kind of merging these. Yeah, so once again, edge mode. Yeah, select, but only on the inside. Yeah, I don't want to go on the outside. And then I'm gonna do a so there. Okay, that should lock that in. So it should be pretty clean. Same thing with this side. Yeah, go to edge. Again, don't go outside. Yeah, if I because we are separating everything up. Okay, and then there is our front, so that should look pretty clean as well. All right, so that's about set for our pattern, yeah, for this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is make sure that everything is once again inside of our map, yeah. So yeah, that should probably be about right. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my UV mode. Let's kind of place things here. So we have our front, left, right, and side here, and we also have the bottom. I'm gonna kind of move these up into here, and then let's see if I can scale it so that it's in a better proportion than whatever is happening right now. So this is not bad. I'm just gonna kind of scale that in though. Yeah, something like this looks pretty good. Um, yeah, yeah, we can probably work with that. Yeah, so I'm not gonna end up trying to economize the space too much. Okay, but after we're done with that, we can now bring this over right into the uh, into our material area. Okay, I'm actually realizing I could move this around a little bit more. So let's see. Yeah, you know what? We'll just leave it as is. Okay. So we're gonna drop this off in here. Okay, we're getting ready to export image. I'll do a UV snapshot. Now we're on to our leg. I'm going to be very specific about this one. So instead of having this be just leg, yeah, we're gonna make sure that this one is set to left leg. Yeah, so left leg out UV. Save that. All our rest of our settings should be good. So we can do an apply and close. Okay. This one we can bring into Photoshop, of course. Yeah, so just like before, let's bring that in, and then we're gonna map this out. Yeah, so left leg, drop that off. Okay, same as usual. Yeah, we got our out UV guide, and then we have our background that we're gonna make completely black. Yeah, so paint bucket tool, fill that in, lock both of these layers. Okay, drop a layer in between. This is where we start putting in our patterns. Of course, we're going to be spending a lot on our reds, yeah, for this one. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna drop those in. I'm gonna make some rectangles on here. So I'm just gonna kind of make all of this red for now. Okay, so that'll be our main portion of our pattern. Okay, and then also start working in the details. Yeah, so we can kind of take a look at the details on here. Yes, it looks like he has not very much going on. You have this area that we're going to concentrate on. Okay, so let me get to the correct one. Okay, and then if you remember, for anytime you're doing this kind of model, you actually want to make sure that that these parts stay the same color. Yeah, so even the sides of the legs, with very rare exceptions, they tend to be just one color. So I'm going to switch this. I'm going to get into black, I think. Make a new layer for that. And then for this, I'm going to set up my, his pattern, like kind of going into the leg over here. So it kind of looks like it kind of tapers off to here. So you're gonna drop that off right there. Option click, then get to over here. Okay, the color I wanted was black though, so I'm gonna switch that. All right, and that'll be the outside of the leg. Other things we can kind of do is, yeah, it looks like he has some stuff on his foot. So that part's kind of fun. Let me kind of add that in as well. So looks like right over here he has some kind of like cover for his foot. Yeah, so we can kind of drop that off. Oops, it looks like I did not close that one off. All right, sweet. All right, let me make a new shape over here. So maybe go here, drop these off. Yeah, pen tool is fun. Yeah, if you get used to it. I know it's a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning, yeah, but just chop that off to here, and then maybe to about here. I'm not sure if his foot, if it goes down the whole foot or not. Yeah, it kind of doesn't go through his whole foot. Okay. And then our last thing that we can probably do here, for detail wise, yeah, I'm probably gonna do like some more detail, but I'll do that off tutorial so you guys don't have to sit through it. Is like create this little area, yeah, so he kind of has like his cleats, yeah, are a darker color. Okay, but that should like be most of it already. The last thing that I can think of doing is gonna be like just his pattern from his backside as well. So I know that's a little bit tighter, so that one's gonna kind of end up here, and then maybe we'll end that here. Yeah, so again, option click, chop that off. Okay, there's my OutUV. Everything should look pretty good, so I'm gonna hide it. Okay, this is that simple pattern. Obviously we set it up the way we did so that you can put a lot more detail on it than this. Yeah, this is probably what we would just consider like the basic package. Yeah, but yeah, let me add one more thing. So right to here, I'm gonna add in the back of the cleats as well, or back like the tread for his shoes. And then I'm gonna save this. Okay, as the left leg. Yeah, so replace that one. Perfect. I want my layers. Okay, and then I also want to export this. So here's our fourth, I think, texture. But yeah, keep it as a JPEG. Make sure that we're labeling it similarly. So I'm gonna put this as left leg Deadpool. Yeah, save that. All right, and then we can drop this off into Maya. So I'm gonna go back to here. All right, and then let's see how it looks. Yeah, I may have some things I have to change, but we'll see how it looks. So right click, assign new material. Here comes the Funk E. Here comes our naming. Yeah, so Deadpool leg left material. Okay, and then I'm gonna drop this off in the color field. So checkerboard, file, folder next to image name. Let's find that left leg, drop that off, see how it looks. Okay, all right, so yeah, that'll work. Okay, simple, but yeah. And remember, insides and outsides, unfortunately for Legos, you usually don't put any detail on there. Yeah, there's only like really short, small exceptions where that would happen. So I'm gonna go to outliner here. Just gonna select, shift select, then command select on what I need. We can do our shift H, that should bring back the other pieces. Okay, and then like, yeah, he's definitely coming together right there. For the other leg, I'm actually, yeah, interestingly enough, I'm going to delete it. Yeah, so I'm going to delete it. I'm going to take this this particular model though, and I'm going to mirror it over. Yeah, so I'm going to do an edit, duplicate special. Yeah, and go to the square next to that. I'm going to double check on my scale and try to set this one. You may notice this is X, Y, and Z. We're going to be mirroring him over to this side. Yeah, so that'll be on -1. So just make sure the first one is at -1. Everything else will be the default. And then we're just going to go ahead and do a duplicate special. Yeah, and that'll give us the other leg. Cool thing about this is it is yeah, it saves us a little bit of time, so you don't have to mirror twice. Yeah, and then if you like how this turned out, you can do a modify and you can freeze that transformation. Yeah, okay, and then now we do have our left leg 1. Yeah, let's rename that back. So right leg. Okay, and then one thing you may have noticed too is like the material is a little bit weird because I made a left leg material that works on the right. But yeah, when we mirror it over, it still works. Yeah. All right, so we're almost there. Now we just have to color in, looks like the arms and the claws, and then we can get into like talking about rigging.